Ay, ay, ay. I wish I would see a squirrel. I feel like it's been so long since I've seen one. And this feels like squirrel weather. It's pretty much spring. Can you hear the birds chirping? I thought I heard some. Trying to roll down my window so maybe you guys could hear them. They're not that loud, but I was hearing them. Hopefully maybe you guys could hear a little bit of that. Hello YouTube. Oh, today's Monday. I'm here at the strip club. It's a pretty nice day out today, I guess. It's all right. I did start today off with definitely some Monday vibes. I fell down a hill back at the apartment that I stay at. In order to get from the entrance to the apartment, like the front door area, down to the driveway area, there's this little hill. It's not very big at all, but it's still a hill. And you know, like the snow around here has been melting, but there's still a lot of ice. You know, it's like, I don't know, depending on how the snow is, I feel like sometimes the snow is actually, it can be a little bit better as far as that, kind of like not falling down the hill because, So, I should have just left that on for a minute. If you guys might have heard that, my radio just came on by itself. It's been a while since it's done that, but I have mentioned that that has happened before. So like all of my electronics seem to be messed up, and definitely my phone in particular. So hopefully you guys could see that I did not, my hands were right here. I did not do that. For anyone out there that, I'm sure there's people out there that probably hear what I say on here sometimes and they're probably like, wow, she's so crazy. It's not all in my head. Like, clearly that was not my doing. I didn't touch the button, that just came on. Right? Did you guys see that? Well, this video probably, that's a very likely indication that this video probably won't post properly. It'll probably be muted or just not post. So there goes my little shred of proof or evidence as to me not the stuff that I say about that being all in my head. Because yeah, it's been a little while, but recently enough, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks back, I had been talking here and there in certain videos about how that had been happening. It's been a little while since it's happened. It's been maybe a week or two, maybe 2 or 3 weeks since that's happened. But like I said, fairly recently that had been happening where the radio would just come on by itself like that. My phone is plugged in to the charger in my car here, as it usually is when I'm doing my streams, because otherwise the battery will just get zonked very quickly. So that's no good. But I will say today's stream and today's video was going to be on the shorter side anyways. I really don't have, with daylight savings yesterday, I really am struggling for time to try to get up in time to do these streams before my shift here at the club. So, but I will say I did want this stream to go well because I feel like I have some good cleavage going on today. I'll just be honest. I'll just come right out and say it. That's just me being honest. The past few videos that I've done, I feel like I really didn't have much going on up here. Well, a lot of the recent streams that I had done, I was wearing a sports bra because I was going to the gym, either before or after those streams. So you know, that kind of doesn't really help in the push-up bra department. Today I'm wearing a push-up bra, so now I have cleavage again. So I was like all excited about that. It's okay though. I really don't care because I'm just going to make a mental note of what I'm wearing right now. And I will, if this video doesn't post properly, I will literally wear this exact same outfit tomorrow to get the cleavage again. And I'll just keep doing that until a video posts properly so that I can finally get a video with cleavage again, because it's been a while since I've done that. It's also been a little while since a video of mine has messed up and not posted properly. So the longer that goes, like the longer I have a streak of videos posting properly, the more anxious I get that, okay, so when is the next one gonna mess up? You know, because it feels like it's just more and more around the corner with that kind of, you know, that kind of thing gonna be happening again. So somebody on here definitely messes with my stuff. I don't know if it's a person, group of people, or possibly just AI, possibly YouTube itself, or it's someone or something. I don't care to try to figure out who or what at this point. It's just, you know, get a life basically. You know, in my opinion, it's just, you know, find something better to do, but some people just don't have anything better to do apparently. Or again, maybe it is just AI, maybe it's just the fact that my phone is old and crappy. I don't know. I really don't care at this point. Like I said, I will just continue to wear the same outfit over and over again with the cleavage until I get a video that posts properly. So I really don't care. I mean, I've already been wearing this same hoodie getup, like these two hoodies together, for a few videos in a row. I really don't have that many clothes. I mean, I guess I kind of do, but honestly, most of what I have for clothing has already been worn in videos, and especially for this time of year. I mean, it is kind of starting to feel like spring, but it's still pretty cold at night. And, you know, we have around here what we call false spring, where it's kind of like, it seems like it might be spring, but then it's like just to mess with you, and it'll go right back to being freezing cold next week or whenever it's going to be. So we try not to get our hopes up too much around here when it comes to that kind of thing. At least I know I don't. A few years ago, we had the worst storm of the season. The worst storm that we had for that winter was actually in April, and it was right around Easter time. So not even like the start of April. It was like mid to late April. And before that, it was like, yay, spring. But then we had the worst storm ever of that entire winter, pretty much right at towards the end of April. So ever since then, especially, I try not to get too excited this time of year when it's like, yay, spring, but really you just never know around here with that kind of thing. Anyways, yes. So another thing that I really have to try to remember to be careful about, so the hill back at the apartment that I stay at, yes, I feel like sometimes when there's more snow, having the snow like that, depending on how the snow is, if it's soft enough, oh, it's 3:30 on the dot. If the snow is soft enough, I feel like it kind of provides a little bit of ankle support. You know, like when you step in snow where you kind of sink down into it a little bit, that snow surrounding your foot and your ankle and some of your leg there, it kind of provides a little support sometimes to where you're not as likely sometimes to fall or to slide around that way. Whereas the way things are right now, back at the apartment that I stay at with that hill area especially, it's like this weird mix of, there's some like solid ground showing, like there's a little bit of dirt and grass in some areas, and then there's also that space is like surrounded by these big thick chunks of ice, and a lot of the ice is underneath still a little bit of snow. So it's just this weird mix. And where I stepped earlier going down that hill, I was trying to be careful. I was trying to plan out each and every step very like carefully. But wherever I put my left foot for one of those steps, it was just the wrong spot. And I ended up just sliding all the way down the hill, and I just washed my pants too. This is my first day of wearing these pants since I've washed them. Obviously I try to wash them from time to time, but the pants I'm wearing now are like my favorite pants, and honestly they're the only pair of pants that I own they're the only pair of leggings that I own that I feel really like fit me properly to where they're comfortable and like not too tight or like not too uncomfortable. So I do wear them very often, and I don't have a washer or dryer back at the apartment that I stay at, so I wash all my clothes in the sink by hand and dry them on a drying rack, but there's no heat on in the apartment. So for them to wash them in the sink is obviously kind of a challenge, but then for them to dry afterwards with no heat on, it takes a while for stuff to dry as well. So honestly, I don't wash my clothes as often as I would like to. I still try to wash them from time to time when I can, but especially like, you know, the smaller bottom garments I will wash on a regular basis, of course, but like, you know, hoodies and pants and stuff like that, I would like to wash them more often than I'm really realistically able to. Anyways, I had just washed these pants, and today is literally my first day of wearing them since they've been washed and dried. Yesterday they were still drying, so I think I washed them on Saturday. Yeah, because Saturday I was doing a lot of spring cleaning and laundry. So yeah, today's my first day wearing them all fresh and clean, and I fell into the snow and got them all wet, and I don't think they got too dirty. You know, where I landed when I fell, it was kind of like, it was a little bit muddy though. It was like kind of slushy mud and just dirty looking snow. I don't think anybody's dogs had peed on it though, I'm hoping. I don't think I landed in like dog poop or pee or anything. I better not have. I didn't see any or smell any where I landed, so I don't think I did. I sure hope I didn't, but anyway. What my main concern, honestly though, I just hope that I didn't hurt my ankle or my wrist. My left ankle is my bad ankle, and it had been hurting lately anyways, regardless. And then my left wrist, both of my wrists will act up pretty often. It's usually one or the other, if not both, that will hurt at any given time. So to different levels of severity, of course, but so I'm pretty sure the last time that one of my wrists was hurting, it was my left one pretty recently. It had been starting to feel better, and then I think last week or pretty recently also, I was doing a lot of shoveling. The last snow that we got, I shoveled. This was definitely very recent, probably last week. I did post about it. I was even going to post a picture of the driveway, although I didn't do that, but I took pictures of it. I did take pictures, and I shoveled probably 80 to 90% of the driveway after that snowstorm. And so it was a lot of shoveling, and I was also shoveling a lot of the front entrance of the driveway where that extra thick, chunky, like compacted snow all gets accumulated from being plowed out of the roadways, like the main road. So, you know, like how it gets built up from the plow trucks around like entranceways, if they don't also go as far as to plow the entranceway, which they hadn't been lately. So I was also shoveling that extra thick compacted snow at the front entrance of the driveway, and so I was really worried about my wrist with doing that. It was over an hour of shoveling. Yeah, the driveway there is pretty big, so, but you know, my wrist had surprisingly been feeling mostly okay after that. So I want to think the way that I landed today wasn't too bad on my wrist. I know that my keys got wet. My keys were in my left hand, and my keys were soaking wet with snow. So I'm really worried about my left wrist now. I don't remember like being like, oh my gosh, ouch, but you know how sometimes when that kind of thing happens, you don't realize until later sometimes, like it's not immediate right in the moment. So, and I'm like, well, if my keys are wet, then my wrist must have made some kind of contact with that snow and maybe the ground. I don't really remember. I'm just so tired, and oh gosh. I'm gonna try not to worry about it too much, but well, that's definitely a Monday start to this Monday, you know, so anyway. Yeah, oh crap. You know what? There was this stripper parked in front of me. She has this big badass truck. She's awesome, by the way. I really like her. She is a superstar, and she has this big badass truck that was parked in front of me, and on the front, I had tried to get, it's kind of interesting because I remember I tried to get her truck in a video of mine maybe like a month or so ago, because I wanted to, she has this like kind of stripper, you know, that kind of like stripper decal that some truck drivers will have, like, I don't know, on their truck somewhere, like a tire emblem or something somewhere on their trucks. It's like that laying down like kind of silhouette of a stripper posing. She has a big one of those on the front of her truck, but there's also no license plate on the front of her truck to give away like the state that we're in, or like her personal license plate. So if I were to try to get that on camera, it would, again, there's no license plate in front, but there is that pretty big noticeable stripper decal that she has. So the last video that I tried to get that on camera with, that video was actually muted, and that video was very long as well, and I didn't get that on camera until the very end of that video. So most people, unless they're into watching muted videos that are really long, most people probably wouldn't have seen that. So I was really gonna try to, I wanted to try to get that in this video today because she was parked right in front of me. And I think there's this little button where I can reverse the image on here to face the camera the other way where she was parked. But she just drove off, and I just realized, it just registered in my brain like right now, like, oh crap, she already just left. So that sucks. I really wanted to try to get her truck and that decal emblem or whatever. I wanted to show that in this video maybe, because she's not usually here that often, at least not when I'm here anyways. I usually don't see her when I'm here that much. So I thought today would be a good day to try to get that in a video. But oh well, I guess maybe some other time. But anyways, I was already worrying about this video being messed up anyways because of how the radio came on by itself, which I would take as probably not a very good sign for this video. That to me is immediate indication that somebody's probably going to be messing with this video, unfortunately. So, but you know, there might be lip readers out there. I did mention before that maybe I should try to learn sign language. Because, you know, if I were to learn sign language, at least some people out there might be able to watch videos of mine that, for whatever reason, end up not having audio. It's a struggle. It is a struggle. Yeah, for sure. Over here, especially. Yeah, it does kind of suck. Anyway, actually, so the video that I did from the club last night, I did the protein bar review from inside the club last night for the Built Puff Mint Chip, which was delicious. Again, by the way, I really, really enjoyed that. Originally, after I did that stream, when I went to go back and check on it, I couldn't find it. It looked like the stream hadn't posted. And because normally after I do a stream, I go back into the live section to try to check on them and check the timestamp. And usually it will say that the video is processing. Like it'll usually be right there, but just processing. And yeah, when I went to go check on that one last night, it was nowhere to be found at first. And so that really worried me. And I was really bummed out at first. But I was also being called onto stage, so I shut my phone off and I just went on stage and tried to give my phone a little break. You know, I was just really just trying to cling on to that little bit of hope that maybe after giving my phone a break and a little rest, maybe if I, you know, went and put it back on later after my stage, maybe, you know, it would be okay. And somehow it was. I really didn't think that it would be. I really didn't think that stream would have posted okay, but I guess it did. Yeah, after I went back on stage, I went back to put my phone back on and check on it, and it looks like it was posted okay. Because yeah, I saw somebody had left a comment on there too, which I was like, wait a minute, if I have a comment, then maybe it did post. And then I saw it and I was so excited. But that does remind me, I have some pending comments from my last few videos that I haven't gotten around to yet. I thought that I was going to be able to get to those comments sometime last night, but I just wasn't able to do so. And it looks like a lot of the comments that I have seem to go a few videos back, so I apologize for not getting to those yet. I just, you know, haven't really had the time yet. I'm hoping to do that maybe later tonight. Yeah, it's nice to have more daylight, of course, with daylight savings, but as far as me trying to get out and about to squeeze things in before my shifts here at the club, losing an hour that way is definitely not going to be working in my favor. I've already been struggling with trying to get up early enough to get out and do stuff, you know, for so long regardless. So having it be pushed forward an hour ahead with that is just, you know, of course going to probably make it a lot more difficult for me with that, with time management and that kind of thing. But anyway, so I wasn't able to get to the comments last night, but before the club had closed, I did briefly get a chance to go through my backpack and look through some of the notes that I have pending. So as far as me doing like new videos, like my next few videos that I do, or, you know, just going into the future for my videos and my streams, these are the papers that I have. So these are my notes. These are not all of them, by the way. I do have more I have another section towards the back of my backpack as well. So if we just want to maybe count these real quick, 1, 2, and most of these, almost every single page of this is double-sided. I really don't think that any of these papers are single-sided, except for maybe one of them. Technically, depending on how you look at it, one of these pages is actually notes on the back of a picture. So real quick, there's like a picture you can kind of see like on this side. So this one's a picture, so there's not notes on the picture side obviously, but there are notes on the other side. So all right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 8 is the picture one. 9, 10, 11. Oh, number 11. That was somebody that sent me flowers from my YouTube. Like around Christmas time. So thanks again to them. They also sent me a gift card, which was really nice. Thank you again for that. I still have to spend that gift card. I just haven't found the time yet, but I really want to get new shoes with that. So that was 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, that's 19, 20. I have 21 pages here. 21, and I didn't see a single one of these that wasn't double-sided. Again, unless you want to count the one that's a picture on one side, which, whatever, I mean. So yeah, 21 pages, all double-sided pretty much. Another thing that I've been meaning to try to find the time to do is to kind of go through some of those and try to rewrite, like, you know, like organize a little better, like try to condense those down a little bit, because a lot of those also, parts of them have already been talked about, like parts of the notes on a page and crossed out. And then there's like little bits on the paper that aren't crossed out that I haven't talked about yet. So I want to think if I can just take the little bits that haven't been crossed out on a page and just move some of those onto another sheet of paper and try to like maybe get them to flow together, like transition things that kind of are related to one another or might be in some way. I just really have to try to organize some of those better, because that's just really, it's like this for me, okay? So yeah, I just can't with that right now. There were 2 other pages in that bunch that I did kind of take out of that bunch last night, and those pages look like they were mostly finished. Like all the stuff was pretty much crossed out for the most part, to where I was like, okay, these pages I can probably just set aside and throw away. But I couldn't even bring myself to throw those away. I did separate them from that stack and I put them in a separate area in my backpack. But when I got back to the apartment that I stay at last night, I thought that I was going to be able to throw them away, and I couldn't. I just put them in a separate area. So I guess I'm just too sentimental, too nostalgic. I don't know. I'm weird like that. But anyway, I was talking to this girl. I mentioned a little bit in my video last night when I did the protein bar review. I was talking to this girl here from, I think she said Melrose, Ohio, which I had never heard of before, but I'll be honest, I don't know her name. She's not a dancer. She's like an employee here, but she was really fun to talk to, and there's something about her that I just really like. She kind of has these vibes to her where I'm like, I barely know her. Again, I don't even know her name. I really barely know her, but just talking to her, I kind of got these vibes from her where I was like, I want her to be my new best friend. I was like, I really like her. I want to know her name at least. And then after that, I want us to be best friends. But I felt kind of bad because we were talking and talking and talking for a little while, and then out in the lobby area, she was working at the front desk last night, so I was in the lobby area just talking to her for a while, and then eventually I was called back on stage. So when I was called back on stage, I was like, okay, like, I'll be right back, I gotta go on stage. And I felt really bad because I could just sense that if that hadn't happened, if I hadn't been called on stage at that time, she would have kept talking and like telling me about herself and just talking. And when people are like in a good flow, like with a conversation like that, I really hate for it to come to an end, especially before its time feels like it's supposed to be up. Like, I hate for it to be ended abruptly, like before it feels like it's naturally gonna just end. You know what I mean? Like, I would have wanted to keep talking with her. Because up until then, I had never really had a conversation with her very much, and I didn't think that she would have like seen me as somebody that she would want to talk to. Like, you know, I don't know, I just would have, it was like strictly professional and just kind of like brief that I would see her like at different areas in the club, and just very like cordial, like just kind of like, you know, whatever kind of thing. But then last night when we were talking, it was kind of just like talking like actual people, or like, I don't know, I just saw another side to her where I didn't realize that she liked to talk like that. So like seeing that from her, I was like, oh, like she's just so like down to earth and fun to talk to, and I want her to be my best friend. And I was like, I want to have a sleepover, and I want to just, I don't know, you know how like as you get older, like you really miss that little kid part of yourself sometimes, where like I miss just being a kid and just having friends like that, like just kind of feeling young and having sleepovers and just having like, I feel like having a best friend, it really feels like a childhood kind of thing to me. I feel like that's more difficult as an adult to have like a best friend, or like have sleepovers, or just like have girl talk. I don't know, and then with other dancers here, like for dancers that work here besides myself, like there are a couple that I'm pretty friendly with, like Taz and Paris, but I think like with them being dancers as well as myself being a dancer, there's always like that kind of little bit where you kind of don't want to be like, you kind of go like kind of want to like err on the side of caution a little bit sometimes, or at least I know I do, just like, you know, not give away too much personal stuff, or not, I don't know, just sometimes I feel a little bit wary about revealing too much of myself to them being a dancer and them being a dancer. I don't know, just in case maybe, or just being a dancer is just difficult, honestly. It's just a difficult thing to do and to be. Like I'm sure a lot of stuff is, but like I wouldn't say that this club is like really heavy on like the competition vibes or the competition aspect between dancers. We all seem to be pretty friendly and nice to each other and get along pretty well. But just for me, like based on how a lot of things have been for me in my past, and especially before I even became a dancer, just like throughout the times that I was younger and in school and stuff, I know that in school I would get a lot of jealousy towards from other people, and just kind of like I had to really kind of watch my back and be careful about that kind of stuff. So luckily I don't feel that as much now. Ironically, being a stripper, being a dancer, I really don't get that much from other dancers, thank gosh. But that stuff, that kind of vibe that I did used to get with that kind of thing just from back in the day, like before I was a dancer and just from being a kid and in school and stuff growing up, that the effects of that still do linger, unfortunately, within me, still to this day, and probably always will, to where I do have a difficult time like trusting people and opening up to people and that kind of thing. But anyways, I've also kind of been this person where all my life, like when I meet somebody and I click with them, I just kind of I don't know, I have this little kid like aspect of my personality where I'm just like, I want them to be my best friend forever, and like I just want to be joined at the hip and know everything about them. And just I was like that a lot as a kid. I remember one time when I was very, 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 very young, my parents or something, I barely remember this. I'd have to ask my mom more about it. She probably wouldn't remember at all. A lot of stuff that I try to ask my mom about from when I was a kid, she's like, I don't remember. But I remember I was at this basketball game and I met this little girl. I think she was my age, and we just hit it off, and it felt like we had become best friends at that basketball game. Like we were pretty much hanging out for the entire game. And after the game was over and we had to like leave and part ways, I was just so devastated and so upset. I was like, well, where is she? What's her name? Like, where is she going? Like, I want to be her best friend forever now. Like, why can't, like, I just didn't really understand like, why I was never going to get to see her again. It was so sad. And I was like, I just didn't get it because I was so young. I was just this little kid, and for all I know, this was just a dream. For all I know, this didn't even happen, but I think it did. I think I'm remembering this correctly, although it's very fuzzy because I was just so young. But I was like, why doesn't she live near me? Or like, why can't she go to my school? Or I was just so upset after that game was over. I just really wanted to like stay in contact with her, and like, like my family moved around quite a bit when I was a kid, but it really was weird because a lot of times, the rare times that I wasn't the one, or like my family wasn't the one to move away, if I had a really close friend at that time, it was usually them that ended up moving away. It was like one or the other. So yeah, it's like my family and myself, we ended up being the ones to move a lot of the time. But then those rare instances where we weren't moving at that time and I had a really close friend at the time, the close friend ended up being the one to move away. It was always just somebody moving away, to where my friendships never really lasted that long. And I would just be devastated because I don't know, having friends and like having like a best friend or really close friends was like my favorite thing in the world, pretty much. Like, I wouldn't say that I was ever really popular growing up, but I did have friends. And when I had friends that I felt really close to, like that was like my number one thing in life, especially because, I didn't really get along with my mom. And I were close sometimes and in some ways, but we also had a really strained, difficult, weird relationship a lot of the time, to where a lot of times I just felt like she was mad at me, and she would make it really difficult for me to go hang out with my friends outside of school. Like, it was kind of like this ultimatum, or a lot of times when I would want to go hang out with my friends, she like didn't want to let me go. She would just be like, no, or like, you're grounded, or she was like, the less you go out, the less chance you have to get into trouble or something. Or she did let me go sometimes. Like, luckily, like thankfully she did let me go occasionally, but it was kind of one of those weird things where, because I felt like it was this rare treat sometimes when I was allowed to go out and hang out with my friends outside of school, I did actually use those opportunities to kind of like go wilding out more and like act out more. And I did actually end up getting into trouble more often, like with that, because I felt like that was my only chance at that time. Like, not my only chance ever, but I just felt like I wasn't allowed to do it as much as I wanted to do it, to where like those times that I was allowed to do it, I was like, we have to have as much fun as possible, like right now, and just do everything that we can to like go big, or before I have to go home, and like just while out as much as we can. So that did end up leading to me getting into trouble a lot of times, unfortunately. But I would still just have so much fun with my friends. Like that was just my number one, like my favorite thing ever. And now being an adult, it's like I just don't really get to hang out with anybody or do anything fun at all. I just work and work and work and work and work and pay bills, and that's it. And it's been like that for a while, but there is that part of me that's still like that. There is still that part of me that's just like, you know, kind of like nostalgic in this little kid kind of like spirit and personality, where it's just like, I want to have this friend, or I just want to like hang out with my friends and just have fun, you know, and just feel young again and just live life and just be happy and just have fun. You know, I just love to have fun, but and just laugh and laugh and laugh and dance and dance and dance. But anyway, I have 3 minutes. I have less than 3 minutes before I have to go sign in here at the club. So yay. I'm gonna sign off for now. I apologize if this stream, I don't know, I can't even really apologize if the stream doesn't have audio for whatever reason because of the radio coming on earlier. I couldn't even apologize because you guys wouldn't hear me. So whoops, I don't know. That's not my fault, is it? I want to think that's not my fault. I didn't do that, at least not that I'm aware. Anyways, so I don't know what else to say then. Oh well. Hopefully I'll be able to come back on again soon. If I am able to come on tomorrow, that will be Tinka Tuesday. So hopefully it's more good weather like this. Until then, like hopefully I'll be able to come back on one way or another sooner than later. I did like the area that I streamed from last night here at the club. That was a new location for me, which I do think I liked that area to stream from. So maybe I'll try to do that again when I can. But until next time, hopefully I'll be able to come back on soon, one way or another, from this location or that, or who knows, but we'll find out, I guess. I hope you guys are well, and peace out for now. Ooh. Bye for now, guys.